You're very welcome to Star Sports TV. It's trading chat today with Flynn Goward, who somehow was wearing a hoodie, and I thought you'd be in a jacuzzi after those results over the weekend, Flynn. Not only racing, football as well. Enable is beaten, Stradivarius is in place, Man United hockeyed at home, Liverpool hockeyed away to Villa. It's been a mad weekend.
Yeah, which is absolutely mental. I mean, especially the football side of things, the match winner markets are great results for us, as you could imagine with the results that we saw. Huge amount of goals and a lot of change in the markets.
Yeah, I thought Liverpool before the game yesterday after Man City dropped points, I think they were around about 4 to 5, 5, 6. I was like, how can this be beat? And all of a sudden, half an hour to an hour of a game later, what do we have now?
So in the outright markets to win the league, Liverpool now 5 to 4. So when we spoke last week, we mentioned that the Liverpool were 5 to 6. And I think you mentioned that it could be buying money at 5 to 6 to win the league. They're now 5 to 4. Very, very shaky. Terrible performance yesterday. Performed amazing against Arsenal via week 4, but then really poor against Villa yesterday. Good credit to Villa, they played fantastic. So 5 to 4 to win the league now, Liverpool. City 11 to 8, again shaky at the weekend. Chelsea 14 to 1. Everton 16 to 1 to win the league. You never think you'd see that. 20 to 1 Spurs and 25 to 1 Arsenal. So very, very open in terms of the outrights, and it's very hard to predict.
I guess there have to be repercussions for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the next manager to go market then.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the biggest move of the weekend. Was 12 to 1 with us before the weekend, and after the drubbing to Spurs, now 7 to 4 to leave his post next, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's been a big move, as well as Scott Parker going the other way. So Scott Parker was 11 to 8 for Fulham. He's now out to 11 to 4. So Solskjaer's taken the favourite position in that market.
Yeah, and mentioning him as well, our boy Jordan was obviously mentioning last week that 25s Fulham get the worst points tally ever in the Premier League, and that's obviously still very possible because they don't have any.
Yeah, exactly. And they're 2 to 7 to go down, and I think that's value. I mean, they should be shorter. They've been absolutely shocking, and it really wouldn't surprise you if they did get the lowest tally ever.
Yeah, so I couldn't really see Stradivarius out of the 3 or maybe the 4 in the arc. And then they obviously went very, very steady in the race. I honestly did think Enable was a shockingly bad price on that ground. It was National Hunt ground in Navan in winter. It was that bad. I mean, we just saw how slow they were finishing the races. This must have been another great result for Ben Keith and the boys.
I'd like to say it was, but it actually wasn't. I mean, anti-post wise, it was good because Love didn't go, and we laid Love anti-post. But as I mentioned last week, we did lay Sotsas. We laid Sotsas before it ran back in August, and it got beat. So we laid Sotsas at 14 and 12 for pretty large amounts. And then when it got beat, obviously drifted out to about 20, 25 to 1. But then went off a lot shorter yesterday, won the race. So we actually lost quite big on the race anti-post on Sotsas. It was good to see Persian King beat. A lot of money for Persian King yesterday. We couldn't lay Enable for Love more money, but Sotsas was actually a bad result in the arc for us.
What about the other French races?
So just 2 I want to touch on. Earthlight getting beat in the Foray was a great result for us. We laid that heavily anti-post. We spoke about that last week as well. And then Make a Challenge getting beat in the Abbey was a good result too. So just a couple to pick up from the other French races.
Super Sunday at Tipperary, some significant non-runners there, but Sonra made his first start of the season. And of course, before he ran in the county hurdle, he apparently did a bit of work that Willie Mullins said afterwards meant, I should have been running this horse in the Supreme, and he ran accordingly. And to me, he does actually look a viable champion hurdle candidate now. What price is he?
He jumped so quickly, I thought he was uber impressive when he ran yesterday. He's now 10 to 1 for the champion hurdle from 33. So obviously won the county last year. Thought he looked really slick over the obstacles. So he's the shortener for Cheltenham. I'm sure we'll be speaking about Cheltenham in the months to come, Johnny.
It's harder to think about it at the moment in the pandemic, but obviously, life goes on and so forth in some shape or form. Got to talk to Sanderson Farms, the Scottish Open, the golf as well.
Yeah, Sergio Garcia winning that with an absolute beauty on 18 to get to 19 under. He shortened up for the Masters, so now 50 from 80 for the Masters, which is in November. And then the tournament we had over here was the Scottish Open. Aaron Wright won that. Great result for us. Beat Tommy Fleetwood in the playoff. Tommy Fleetwood missed a couple of tiddlers. He had great chances to win. But Aaron Wright went and got the job done there. So that was the golf this week.
So we're going to conclude with the Star Sports Greyhound Derby. Are things equally good on this front for the firm as they were on the football this weekend, or how are we looking?
We haven't seen a huge amount of change. A lot of the ones that we laid out anti-post haven't been knocked out in the first rounds, but it was a great first couple of nights at Nottingham. The second night was literally a flood. It was so wet on the track. in terms of what the market looks like now, new in session, that was the 9-1 favourite pre-Derby is now 6-1 favourite. So shortened up was really impressive in the last heat. Ledson Bocco's 12, Cool Vanny Chick 14, Dugan Duke 14, Glengar Bell 14, and Wolf is also 14. Wolf was really impressive as well. So we've got a draw today, and then he's kick off on Friday again.
So before we finish up, who wins the Premier League?
Do you know what? I've got absolutely no idea, so I'm going to sit on the fence. I wouldn't be touching Liverpool or City at short prices just because they look so shaky. I think if you are going to play in the market, you have to play a slightly bigger price and take an each way club.
Football, it's a mad game. Thank you very much, Flynn.
Cheers, Johnny.
That was Trader Chat with Flynn Goward, and we'll see you again next week.